Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Race number 11 at Charlestown on Friday is the Grade 3 Charlestown Oaks. Let's take a look at this overflow field of 3-year-old fillies going a two-turn 7 furlongs. Caramel Swirl, 5-2 on the morning line, Mike. Bill Mott, Junior Alvarado. This was run very well last time out, going the one-turn 7 at Saratoga, maybe starting to live up to the potential she had shown earlier in her career.
Yeah, she might be. It does feel like shorter distances are better for her. So we'll see if the two turns, I guess, work against her at all here. The 7 furlongs feels right. We'll see if the two turns works against her. Ran really, really well last time. Off of that effort, I guess it was a little too close, but you thought off of that effort, they might have tried to test with her.
Let's take a look at the Timeform US Pace Projector. Caramel Swirl is versatile. I think that spot that Timeform US has her is spot on, and I do agree with the likely pace setter. That it is our Adios Jersey, undefeated, hasn't raced since Tampa Bay, but is very fast.
Yeah, very fast. It doesn't feel like there's a ton of speed in here, so we'll see if anybody can shake loose early.
Let's watch Caramel Swirl's recent victory at Saratoga. Again, 95 Beyer speed figure. Got right up close to the pace. Takes over here and just is under minimal urging from Junior Alvarado. Just a hard hand ride. The last 16th of a mile or so. 95 Beyer speed figure. Again, tactical speed. This horse has always hinted at something, Mike, and it looks like Bill's found a good spot.
Yeah, no, I agree with all that stuff. I mean, it sort of felt like maybe she was going to disappoint after 2 really good starts to begin her career. Races where she just ran really well and just happened not to win. It feels like Bill's gotten her back on the beam here since they've concentrated on dirt sprints. It feels like that's what she wants to do. Even her race 2 back then in the 8 bells, she ran a lot better than it looks that day with a really tough trip.
Can't knock Street Loot. She's won 8 of 12. She was the Maryland-bred champion 2-year-old filly of 2020. Her last race on turf is a throw. I don't think she likes that service. She ran really well in the off-turf Stormy Blues 2 starts back. Let's watch the stretch run of this race. But go back to Formulator. This horse missed the break completely, and she usually likes to be close. She made a big, wide move on the turn, and she sustains it, shows off her class, and wears down Malibu Beauty, a horse that's come back to win 2 of her next 3 starts.
Yeah, this is a really good performance for a really nice filly. It just feels like that, as nice as she is, it feels like this is a pretty tough spot for her. We'll see what she does over the 7 furlongs. I would not discount her chances, though, if she's a big price.
I've always been a fan of the 3 Pauline's Pearl, who won the Grade 3 Fantasy at Oaklawn. A little bit overmatched in the Kentucky Oaks. Ground-saving trip. Tried to go up the inside, just could not keep up with those horses in the stretch. They ran her in the Iowa Oaks last time out. Army Wife's pretty good. She ran 3rd in the Alabama with a 92 Beyer. She's one of the few horses in this race perhaps getting class relief, and I actually think the 2-turn 7 will work for her.
Yeah, I think that's the real question. I don't see why it wouldn't work for her either, Dan. And it's not like she's some kind of slow horse, even though she's been going longer. I think she can get the right trip in here. If I'm being honest, I don't love her last race. I didn't think she did that much running in there, but I do think she's better than that.
Moonswag just missed in a blanket finish last time out in the Grade 3 Indiana Oaks, although Soothsay was likely much the best after completely missing the break. Moonswag did finish ahead of a horse that came back to win the Catherine Sophia Stakes at Parks yesterday, so she's in good form for Brendan Walsh. Her buyers are a little bit light.
Yeah, a little bit light. She probably has to improve. I can actually see, cutting back, working for this horse, though, Dan. I mean, I know it's still a 2-turn race, but I think shorter distances might ultimately be better for her.
Ian Wilkson's in Fabricate from Ellis Park off this effort going 7/8 of a mile. We see her in behind horses turning into the stretch. Chris Landeros is going to angle her down towards the inside, and she gives an even finish. The winner of this race is okay. Came back to finish 2nd at Ellis in the Audubon Oaks with an 85 Beyer speed figure.
Yeah, I mean, she runs fine in here. Never a real threat, but I guess, maybe having to go down towards the inside, you could say, cost her something at the end. Maybe she was second best in here, but I don't think she was winning, Dan. Just a filly who in this race has to really improve.
I'm a fan of the 6 Inject, and I think her tactical speed will play very well in this spot. Let's go back to her most recent start. Brad Cox tested her in the Grade 3 victory ride. She was kind of down in behind horses in this race. She's going to look to get outside. Super Sensational, who's in raging form, just is able to run by everybody. Super Sensational came back to run 2nd in the test with a 93 Beyer. One paced in the stretch was Inject, but again, this is a little bit of class relief for her.
Yeah, I guess it is. I mean, she's, she ran fine. She was just no match for Super Sensational in here, and no match for the runner-up either. As much as I like Super Sensational, I do think she's a good horse. I don't like that victory ride as a race, Dan. The two favorites in there completely failed to show up, and it just sort of left everything up for grabs there. I think Inject was third by default, and I think if she runs that race back, she gets nothing in here.
Competitive Speeds run some gigantic races at big prices. Third in the Devona Dale at 53 to 1, third in the Gulfstream Park Oaks at 18 to 1, and then third in the Azalea, albeit at a shorter price last time out. Let's watch that Azalea going 7/8 of a mile. Competitive Speed is on the outside, and she has a look at this at the 3/16 pole or so, and it's kind of just one pace down to the wire. I think the 2-turn-7 works for her, though.
Yeah, nothing to really see here. She's just sort of forging on here without threat in this race. She's not fast enough to win here right now. She has outrun her odds several times in the past, though.
Key to this race, in my opinion, is the 8 R Adios Jersey, because this looks like a very tough spot to try 2 turns off of a March layoff. She's undefeated. She started her career for $35,000. She won a Florida bred stake very easily. This is the race we'll show you right now at Tampa in late March. Our Adios Jersey went right to the lead, shook loose from these horses, and pretty much dominated them in the lane. It was a fast race, an 89 buyer for a March 3-year-old filly.
Yeah, and they have to ride her like this in this race, Dan. They just have to send her off to the lead in here and see if she can wire the field around 2 turns. It's a big step up in class. That figure right there, I guess, gives her some kind of a chance in here. I'll wait and see what kind of price she is. She's not my kind of horse, but she does go for a high percentage trainer, and maybe she will be a big price in here.
Miss Leslie is a horse that usually doesn't break very well from the gate, usually falls far behind, but if you give her pace, she will kick. She likes 2 turns. I wonder if maybe she's slightly more effective at slightly longer distances. She actually ran okay in the Monmouth Oaks after blowing the start.
Agreed. I mean, I'm worried about the shorter distance, and maybe it just won't work for her in here, especially if the pace doesn't develop in front of her. But I actually feel like she's pretty good and probably underrated. And I'm with you. The poor start really compromised her chances last time.
Allworthy has a ton of upside potential for Safi Joseph. Tough outside post position here. Finished ahead of Miss Leslie last time out. Leader of the band, the winner of that race. Came back to run, I believe, an okay second in the Catherine Sophia yesterday. This filly just continues to improve, but is another one. I think the 2 turns works, but like Miss Leslie, she's stoutly bred and I think may want a little more ground.
Yeah, I will see. I thought she would have been maybe a little closer to the pace last time at Monmouth, and she wasn't. It could only get up there for 4th at the end. Her prior 2 starts, she showed, much better tactical speed in those races, and a trip more like that would probably improve her chances in here.
Top pick time for the Grade 3 Charlestown Oaks on Charlestown Classic Friday. You're going with Caramel Swirl, down from Saratoga, razor sharp form.
Yeah, I just like this horse, Dan. I think she's the best horse in the race. I think if she gets the 2 turns, she's going to be very tough to beat.
I'm giving Pauline's Pearl one more chance. I've liked her since that win at Oaklawn. Maybe I'm just been completely wrong with her, but she had no chance in the Kentucky Oaks. And I'll just give her one against Army Wife last time out, although, as Mike mentioned, she didn't particularly run very well in that race. 1935 for Mike, 31810 for me. It's the Grade 3 Charlestown Oaks on Friday. Good luck.